Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fuengirola Open 2021, presented by Natural Born Disc Golfer and Zona Disc Golf. In the booth, the perfect fight commentary duo, Jørn, Idar, Kvig, and Dean Schaub. And are you ready for some disc golf, team?
Man, I am ready to see some 20-degree plus weather here in November. The Fuengirola Open is gaining in prestige. And Jørn, Idar, who do we have with us on the card?
Well, we got the leader, Nestori Tuhkanen. He has a comfortable lead in front of Emil Nilsson from Sweden. And he is joined by his fellow Swede, Kymen Modig, Kastaplast player. It's been around, and he's actually the quote-unquote oldest disc golfer of these guys. I'll get into that a little bit later on. And we round out the card with Rasmus Tuominen, Prodiscus sponsored player, ready to rock and roll here on the final round of the tournament.
Not gonna lie, Jørn, Idar, I don't love seeing these 6-digit PDGA numbers here on the lead card. It makes me feel really old, but Rasmus Tuominen, welcome to the show.
Yeah, and what a show to start off with. We got hole 1, par 3, 80 meter. This is a pretty steep elevation up here. You just gotta throw a forehand. I would prefer, unless you're left-handed, you gotta sneak around these trees here to be able to get to the sweet spot, which will be circle edge for the most part. There's also an OB area on the right-hand side there. So if you hit the cage and roll down, you are highly likely to end up in some OB. So let's see how the guys are solving this.
Yeah, we see lining up a forehand right off the bat. And viewers at home, you see what we're dealing with. Rough terrain, but bright, beautiful skies. That's the price you pay for November hot disc golf.
For sure. And this course is sort of a, what you should call it, like a disc golf haven in the dark ages of winter for a lot of us Scandinavian players. So you will see a lot of Norwegian players, a lot of Swedish players, Finnish players that will come up here. And Kymen actually goes the less travel route over the OB and just parks that one. A great start for Kymen.
Yeah, Kymen, the well-known Kastaplast sponsored pro. A lot of people follow him on Instagram, things like that. He's been with Kastaplast from the beginning.
Ooh. Not a lucky throw there for Emil. Just hits the branch and is knocked down. And yeah, it's a fairly open course here at Mijas. But be warned, there will be a lot of elevation, a lot of rocks, so it's a great place to beat in new discs. But the wind is going to come into play. You can see the bushes here is quite alive, and yeah, I have a suspicion that we will see a lot of that come into play during this final round of the tournament.
Unless you park it right in the dirt.
Yeah, that's one way to do it. Ooh, that's a good roll. Not going too far away there. Not the start that Nestori wanted, of course, but he's up here, getting up a par. And yeah, if you're starting to feel a bit old, Dean, Nestori, he's been a PDGA member since 2018, but his very first tournament was last year. So he started as his first rating was 886. He's now a 998 rated player. He has had a fantastic 2021 season, and I look forward to seeing him on plenty of elite cards in the years to come, I think. Going here, hole 2, pretty straightforward, 81 meter, slight downhill par 3. What you gotta be careful about here is the road in the back, so that is OB and beyond. So yeah, just gotta keep your distance control in check here. Forehand, backhand, doesn't really matter that much as long as you don't go far.
Yep, see Kymen throwing a stall here. Shout out to the whole sponsor, Marcus Barnett, the DiscGolfLawyer.com. Based out of Florida, but travels to Japan and Europe for all sorts of events. Really swell guy in the disc golf community.
Yeah, you had Kymen going backhand heiser with the fairway driver. Here we have Rasmus going forehand with the putter. So plenty of ways to solve this this hole. Oh yeah, that's not the noise you want to make after throwing, but can trickle down there and stops in the bushes, but gotta look. Originally part of the NBDG X series, Fuengirola Open is being played for the 4th year, as we see. Was that did he end up OB? Kind of hard to see the lines there, but it looked like he trickled OB. Don't come back. Yeah,
Whoa.
that's a fantastic par save. Really solid putt.
OB3, let's run it back. Look at the confidence. No real reach back, just a little stop, drop, and pop it. Bam.
Dead center.
Look at these young kids. Not just high numbers, but the stickers on the hat and the Luna just a little bit right.
Oh, a little low there for Rasmus. He as well, pretty young player. Started playing in 2018. He's now a 979 rated player. Oh no, Nestori. I gotta wonder. He's fairly young to the game, as we mentioned. Just a little bit of nerves coming into to the final round here with a fairly comfortable lead. All being eaten up here on the first 2 holes.
Yeah, a little bit of a different tournament format. In the first round, it's the same layout. The second round, a little bit closer holes. It's a little bit of a birdie fest on moving day. And then the third round, back to the original layout. So more placement drives, take the birdies as they come. But what do we have here on hole 3, Jørn Idar?
Oh, this is a par 4, 232 meter long. OB left, OB right. Just gonna keep it along the pathway here, as you see. Either with a big turnover on the first one or a big forehand, and then just try to grip it and rip it here on the second shot to be up on the dance floor for a birdie. But we'll see. The wind will play in factor here, especially on the tee shot. So yeah, not the easiest tee shot on the course for sure, especially with the wind. But let's see. Kymen is going with that turnover backhand. Going tight on the right hand side. It looks good if it doesn't hyzer up too much. A little bit hard to see from that angle, but gets far down there, and even if he ends up OB in the road, he will still have a fairly easy upshot for his par save. This is looking a little tight, a little bit too stable for Rasmus. As we have Emil lining up.
Yeah, Emil coming off that big putt, saving the OB3. See if he can carry that confidence into this shot.
If this keeps, that is a fantastic tee shot. If he stays away from that tree, that was definitely the best tee shot so far. Ending up just by the pathway. Let's see if Nestori can calm his nerves a little bit. This looks good. Yeah, not a big tee shot, but just looking at his potential power, I think he should have a fairly easy second shot. Just a placement first shot.
Yeah, I think we can read into the narrative a little bit there. Just get him back on track, put one in the fairway, move on with your life kind of tee shot after that rough kind of first 2 holes.
Yeah. Didn't see where that ended up for Rasmus. But here we see Nestori get a perfect run up. Put it out wide on the right hand side. Giving it a little heiser. This is looking very nice and is up there.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much parked.
Really shows you how to approach this course. You know, you place your drive and live for that second shot on a lot of these holes, especially the par 4s. But yeah, you don't need to bite off too much on the drive. Just keep it in bounds and set yourself up for a nice approach.
And without seeing where Kymen ended up, you can see there, it doesn't look like much, but those branches will just eat the discs. I like the mood there, the little Santa Claus laughing. And you see Kymen, actually ended up a little bit short. Got a little bit of a tester to save his par. Oh,
Tuliko se alas?
that felt a little bit like a lucky skip. Like Circle's edge here.
Yeah, he was not saying that's just how I drew it up. That is not the lip reading I was doing. Oh no.
A little bit of an air ball for Rasmus. Ooh. Strong putting.
Yeah, almost a bonus from there with those thick branches in your way. Those team-stamped black Ricos looking really sharp from Kymen.
And Emil is doing his best to try to break down those baskets. A lot of power. But great birdie for him. Going into hole 4, par 3, 131 meters, slightly downhill, so it plays a little bit shorter. But there is OB on the right and OB on the left. And yeah, just gotta keep it nice and straight on the right hand side and then try to have the perfect fade over these bushes, but not too far, because then there will be, well, basically another set of bushes in your way. So getting the fade in at the right time, I think, is pretty much the essential thing here.
It's almost like, are they bushes? Are they trees? It doesn't matter because they're thick. You're not just going to blast through them. You can't get lucky. You need to avoid them. That's the name of the game out here at the Fuengirola Open.
Yeah, I think our Spanish is pretty much as good as our Finnish, which, yeah, pretty much sums it up. But we're doing our best, and this is looking straight into the tree. Yeah, you can see there, yet again, hitting some trees, it will just knock you down. There is no way past them.
Yeah, I believe these are called the Dikembe Matumbo trees in Spanish.
Oh, really?
They will just smack them right back in your face.
Well, I retract my previous statement about our Spanish. I guess it's just my Spanish, which is not good. And this is looking a little bit high, leaking out left. Got an open look, but yeah, that's way into circle 2 for Nestori.
Yeah, birdies are hard to come by on this layout. I'm not gonna lie. So an open look on a hole like this, you're gonna live with that.
Kymen is looking. Is it just? Oh, that's a lucky little air bounce for him, just pushing it over that tree. That it's not super happy about it, but could have been 40 meters shorter.
You know, this does play slightly downhill, but 131 meter par 3 is still 131 meter par 3. So you got to get the disc flat for part of the flight to get the distance. And, you know, you rely on a little bit of luck like that.
Rasmus, also a fairly new player, started in 2018. Got some big distance. Currently 979 rated and showing off some 979 rated power there.
And when you get behind a tree, you turn the hat backwards, go to the forehand.
It's up there. Look like it's so. And Nestori with a long look. Giving it a run, but there's those thick tree bushes that we talked about. Oh, okay, good little run.
Ooh.
It's gotta feel kind of like a downer when you're inside a circle, but you can't see the basket even if you lean out.
Ooh, look at the cameraman staying still on that one. Just centimeters away. Yeah, even without the bushes in your way, there's a lot of stuff hanging out on this course. A lot of things to contend with. Even the basket looks like it's placed in some ancient ruins of a living room of some house that was there in the 1200s or something. It's a very unique course.
As we see Emil's power once again. And Rasmus needs to clean things up on the green here. He's quickly losing stroke to the rest of the field, and it feels like the majority of the shots lost is on circle's edge. So let's see if he can redeem himself on hole 5. It's a par 3, 129 meters. There's OB on the left-hand side. And yeah, slightly downhill once again, but some pretty nasty guarding trees to contend with towards the green here. So yeah, let's see if they have the power to go over or they're trying to sneak it in between here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a finessey flex backhand through that gap, or just a push power hyzer over everything. Let's see how they attack it.
And looks a little bit nose up, perhaps. Yeah, but I'd stall out a little bit early. Yeah, just to show you the the love that this course gets from Scandinavian people. We're talking about 90% of the players being from either Finland, Norway, or Sweden. So. Yeah, we know what time of the year it is, and we just try to stay as far away from here as we can to play some disc golf in Mijas.
I love it. I feel like they should have a new 3D event every 4 days and just stay there the whole winter.
Yeah, I have seen a few Finnish players that actually travel here and just stay here to be over the winter. So there is a few. And it seems like this hole is really pushing their length, and you have to push length and power, then it will be kind of hard to get the perfect accuracy in the mix as well, unless you have a distance to spare. So this is just really challenging the guys, and they're giving it their best effort, but looks like they're either hyzering out too early or just ending up short, basically.
Yeah, I mean, holes like this, if you don't have it, you don't have it. So, you know, place your drive, look for a great upshot, maybe not a wall ride like that, but...
he played the bank shot there on purpose. I'm 100% convinced of it.
Well, yeah. But if you just, you know, lay up to the gap, pitch up for your 3, you're moving on to the next tee pad, you know, happy as a clam, and maybe not having to stretch out for shots like this.
Yeah, very good little effort from Kymen there. Let's see if Rasmus can put this under the basket.
Oh, no.
Ooh, yeah. I feel ya. Time for a spectacular putt then. Low hanging branches. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, these branches are not going to let you power through. Not going to happen.
No. See there that Nestori went OB on his tee shot, which means that Kymen is now slowly just eating up that that lead of Nestori, and is now just one shot back.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like I say, it's one of those courses where pars are good. You know.
Agreed. Let's see if they can get some birdies here on a... Yeah, it plays 104 meters, but it's downhill once again. The elevation is always on play here on hole 6. It's a par 3, but yeah, you can see that the big risk here is basically just hitting the angles wrong on the green when you do your drive, and ending up with rolling down a couple of levels down, and we'll have just a really long comeback here. But I would say either a super straight backhand or a forehand like this is to prefer for the guys here, laying it out in the sun. And that was surprisingly short.
Yeah, this is the terraced hole. You either have to match the angle of your disc, the landing angle, with where you want to land it, or just slam it into the side of a hill on a forehand, and nothing in between, or else you're going to deal with some problems.
Oh, this looks very wide from Kymen. Unless there is a huge left to right wind, we will end up short of the basket. Alright, let's see if Nestori has learned something from the rest of the guys here. This looks better if it has the stability.
Oh, hey, oh. Yo, nice.
That's actually a little long. There we go. That's the roll that I talked about. That is unlucky from Nestori with the best drive from the tee, but yeah, he can't catch a break.
Yeah, you try to take luck out of it. That's why I like the backhand play on a hole like this, and yeah, try to match your landing angle with where you want to land it. With a forehand, you're leaving a lot up to lady luck.
This looks wide, but has stability and comes back. That's nice. He's the only one on the green there.
Thanks.
Let's see if we can have some spectacular approach / putts here. That's not a bad run. You can hear how dry the twigs are here at the course. It's a really hot course, but a great way to, like I said, beat in the discs is to go here for a couple of days. Oh, that's a good putt from Kymen. Not the longest distance, but of course, wind and uphill, that's never an easy combination.
You know, personally, I love an uphill putt when my putt is struggling, because you know you can just really commit to it. It's a really solid putt to get you back on track.
Yeah.
Heading into hole 7.
Alright, hang on to your tights, boys, because this one needs some explanation. You have a double bando right here. You need to go through that. There is OB on the left-hand side. Let's see where the drone is going. And then you go around the corner. Sorry, yeah, so yeah, anyways, and then there is another double mando right here
Ooh.
in towards the green. So basically a technical tee shot in towards the corner and then around and then back towards this guarded green. It's a par 4, but it's really technical. Really technical. It's a it looks on paper a little bit like a gimmick hole, but when you see it, you need to be working with finesse, angles, heights, and everything to be able to even have a thought of a birdie.
Yeah, unless you're familiar with strip mining operation, you've probably never played a hole like this. But wow.
Oh, that's the
Oh
bad
no,
kick.
that's what you cannot do.
Let's see, it has the right height. Yeah, and it hits the bank on the side there. That's not bad.
Yeah, with all the terrain and everything else, it's just make that double mando and whatever result it is, live with it and set yourself up for that second shot.
Hmm.
Don't hit the cameraman.
Yeah, it plays on average half a stroke over par.
Yeah, you gotta imagine a lot of that is due to missed mandos at some point along this journey.
I think you're 100% correct. Just pitching out. It's not a whole lot more we can do.
Yeah, whenever there's mandos like that, it's kind of demoralizing when you take shots like this. You know, it's like disc golf. It's athletic and blah blah blah, and then you're just getting your way around a mando. It's really it takes the wind out of your sails.
And Kymen going with the trick shot here. That looked actually quite nice.
Love it. Let's run it back.
Yes, please. And it works very nicely on the ground there as well. No skip or flare, just keeping it low to the ground. And Emil trying the same, but he realizes his last name is not Modig, so...
Yeah, you gotta imagine Kymen being a Costa Plus dedicated player for years and years. He knows his discs really, really well, and you can see the difference there.
Oh, fantastic putt by Nestori.
Send it in, young fella. And he's back. Back in the game.
Yeah, he really needed that one to keep track with Kymen.
Yeah, really been a roller coaster here from Nestori. Oh, man, the putters are heating up out here.
Yeah, just a simple birdie for Kymen there, but
love the way, yeah, I love the way Kymen played this hole. There's probably a berg off the tee, then a little funky skip shot, and tap it in for the birdie. Well done.
And they're going to need some extra strokes going into to this hole, which actually played the hardest of the tournament. It's hole 8, par 4. It's a mando that you have to stay on the right side of, and then you need to watch out on the OB on the left. And there is trees, and there is bushes, and tight lines. Man, there is there is not a lot of skyline in the first half of this hole, but after that, if you can get through that with little damage, it opens up a little bit more. And you see the basket there, not the easiest basket placement, and yeah, you just gotta hit some chains unless you want to roll away.
Yeah, I've been sandbagging my Spanish here in Idar, I'm not gonna lie. I took it for 12 years in school. This is the old duele en la cabeza hole. A headache.
Kymen with the turnover, looks a little bit high. Yeah, there we go. He's trying to trim the trees, but it's the wrong time to do it. He's in an attack mode. As you can see, he has had a great little run here. Only needed 6 holes to catch Nestori, and they're now tied. And gotta admit, the looks of Kymen is looking good.
Yeah, he's looking good. Bogey free so far, but he's gonna have to work for this one.
As I sit here in my wool sweater in Norway, I gotta admit, I envy these guys.
I'm doing my best not to think about it, Idar, but
Sorry, my bad.
thanks a lot. I'm shivering over here in Amsterdam. I like the way these guys are attacking it, though. You know, you see mid-ranges off the tee on a long par 4 like this. This means it's not these guys' first rodeo. They know what they're doing. They have a plan. It's just about execution.
Yeah, and it looks like both Swedes are executing a little bit high, hitting the same tree, and have a little bit work to do here to get anywhere near the green. We have a sky hyzer from Kymen. Yeah, we didn't really see where it landed, but he's up there somewhere. It's not the hardest one to. It's not the hardest one to get a par on, but it is definitely the hardest one to get a birdie on, and also a bogey and a double bogey comes so quick with the basket placement. So even if these guys are solving 2 pretty bad tee shots, it's not a guarantee for a par.
Yeah, I can imagine you're stepping up to this tee and thinking, I gotta birdie this one. It's definitely a bonus. Really hard to bite off a lot of distance even on any of the shots.
Yeah. As we saw, it's the park job there. As the Finns show the Swedes how it's done on this hole. A couple of touchy upshots. It's a long one. Hit some. Oh
man! Oh,
yeah, we agree.
I love that reaction. It's like would have loved to have it, but then you live with the old hit and stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see it right there, Kymen. 2 in a row, little layup action.
Yeah, that's a great birdie from Nestori. One of the 3 we saw here on the final round.
Yeah, you know when you hit that putt, you're not just picking up strokes on the card, but you're picking up strokes on the field.
Yeah, for sure. Average 4.9 on this hole, so you know you're gaining strokes on pretty much anyone. So luckily we're going into a little bit of an easier hole here at the hole 9. It's a par 3, 78 meter, another technical shot. There is OB on the left, so you just gotta keep it nice and straight, not fade out at all if you can. If you have the power, there is a hyzer line, but I guess we will see more of the straight shot down the alley than the big hyzers. But we'll see how these guys are playing here at the last hole on the front 9.
Yeah, 78 meters, but you gotta put a little lean into it, you know what I mean? And the whole time the flight's going, you're saying, go, 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 travel, 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 get past all those sticky, sticky, thick, thick branches, and hope for your birdie.
It looked like Nestor is going the straight one a little high.
It's like he wanted to go big and up and around, and it did not work out.
Yeah, you gotta keep it up there, but as soon as you throw it up, there will be some branches to contend with, and of course, stalling out, it's not easy. You see Kymen here. This is the shot I want to see.
Beauty.
Wow.
Beauty, beauty.
That's lots of good throw there from Kymen.
And I see what you did there, Jørn Idar.
Yeah, this is what I want to see. It's just straight at it, playing it just as the course designer wanted it to be, just straight down the alley. I understand what Nestori was trying to do, trying to go up and over, but this is just a beautiful shot by the Swede.
I love it. I love that we ran it back too. That's just a disc golfer's disc golf shot right there.
Let's see what Rasmus is doing. Going the straight one. Oh, hitting a branch, just gets kicked down, and might be a little lucky actually. as it seemed to be a little bit stable and could have ended up in the deep rough on the left-hand side. Emil, that's a very Norwegian pronunciation of the name. But looks
Emil,
like he's going,
as everyone else would say it, lining up forehand.
oh,
Yeah. Ooh.
he's trying to skip shot, not working out this time.
Yeah, I mean, Kymen shots just looking better and better with the other three guys struggling. It's hard to really understate how nice that shot was.
Yeah. Nice little run there. Yep. Oh, looked good, but just a little bit low. Yeah. Plenty of no-risk runs here with the uphill behind the basket.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, that's the name of the game out here. Pitch up for your par, no shame in that game, and, you know, you'll move on with your life. And Kymen still has yet to take a second shot here as the boys clean it up for pars. He's got to be feeling good about that. Focusing already on hole 10 as we finish out the front 9.
Yeah, and he has captured a tied lead from Nestori here now. They're both at -19. The excitement is back. Fantastic start for Kymen with -5, as you can see here. So we go into the back 9 pretty soon with, I gotta admit, some tricky holes there as well, and some beautiful views. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around for a fantastic finish here at the Fuengirola Open 2021.